What's going on, guys? It's me, Dreamliner Fan HT here, and today we have the NG Models August 2025 releases for you guys. Coming in as a surprise, as NG did announce their predictions for July 2025. However, I guess today they just released their August releases, and I have not seen this on their Instagram posts. All I saw for the past 3 days were future releases, and I was like, future releases on NG Models, where is the July releases? And then just today I just saw what was on the, I'll say, like on Instagram. I think many Instagram posts and on YouTube I saw, oh, NG just released their August releases, and I have not seen their releases yet, and I wish I made a predictions, but this was just slapped it out of nowhere. So NG just did this last minute. They didn't came up with a predictions for August 2025, but they did have some predictions for July, and I'd assume those are going to be for the August releases. So there were 3 AT30s, 1 737-800, 1 747-400, 1 777-200ER, 1 777-300ER, 1 787-9, 1 787-10 Dreamliner, and 2 Alta 11 TriStars. And these all came from the July prediction hints. So I'd assume those listed there are going to be from the August releases. So yeah, we'll just see how it goes. And of course, NG I think they recently been moving away for like US models, and yeah, this happened for the past few months of 2025, and CM Aviation did a fantastic video on this situation from NG. So he did upload 2, and I think a third one he uploaded yesterday on his. Oh yeah, also I do want to mention yesterday's airlines video too, so I would highly recommend checking those videos out. So yesterday's airlines videos and 2 of CM Aviation's videos, but CM Aviation or Connor did a reaction on yesterday's airlines video yesterday, so I would highly check them out. But we'll see on how NG does for this month, because like the tariff situation can be one of them. But if it is what it is, it is what it is. I can't sit here and complain. NG is a Chinese company, so it makes sense on how they're catering to many Chinese collectors on these Chinese models, so it does make sense. So, but regardless enough, I'm just eager to see what they have to offer for August 2025. And so with that being said, let's just get started. So let's start off with our first model with, okay, so we have a Garuda Indonesia Airbus A330 300, and this is wearing the Pikachu Jet GA livery. This is jet number 2 in the Garuda Indonesia Pokemon fleet, and honestly, it looks really cute. They got 3 Pikachus on the port side of the plane, and I assume there's also 3 Pikachus on the starboard section of the plane. So Garuda has 2. They now have 2 Pokemon planes, the other being on the 737-800, and yeah, it's all part of like the Pokemon Jet collaborations that many of these airlines, Asian airlines, are having. So they got one for Garuda, ANA, Scoot. Oh yeah, China Airlines also has it too. But so yeah, this is a really cute livery, I gotta say. So really nice that NG is catering. I mean, again, NG is catering the Asian market, so it makes sense of what they're doing here. That aircraft is registered Papa Kilo Golf Papa Yankee. So yeah, a really cute plane. Next up, and we do have a standard livery in Garuda A330 300, and again, just your usual Chinese releases for NG. I mean, not Chinese, these are Asian releases. Indonesia is a Southeast Asian country, so really nice they're now doing it's nice for them to do a standard Garuda livery. I think many collectors who wanted this model are looking forward to having this. So yeah, really nice right there. That aircraft is registered Papa Golf Papa Whiskey, and it's the sister ship of the Pokemon plane. Alright, let's continue on. And then we have, okay, so we have another Garuda, okay, just your standard, okay, just your standard stuff. There's 3 Garuda A330s, but each of them have a different livery right here. So this one is the Hana Travel Go-Kart livery, and they labeled it as a sticker, but it's more of a livery since you have the sticker and then the full-on livery right there. So really nice livery. I mean, I would say nice, but I don't want to keep saying nice on every single livery, but it's just a simple livery on like this Hana Travel, which I think it's some kind of like company in Indonesia, if I were to take a guess. But yeah, just a simple like promotion livery for many airlines. So really nice that NG is also doing this too, and it's really interesting on how Garuda Indonesia is promoting this. So that aircraft is registered another sister ship of Papa Whiskey and Papa Yankee. We have Papa Kilo Golf Papa X-Ray. Alright, so I think that's 3 8030s already, so yeah. But we're just gonna see what the 737-800 is, and that's gonna be... Okay, so we have a fourth one. Okay. Oh, it's the same livery. Okay. Okay, I mean, it is the same livery, yes, but it's styled differently. But yeah, there's kind of like a few differences between Papa Whiskey and Papa Yankee Victor, which is the registration. Well, not really. I haven't seen the full reg yet, but that aircraft is registered Papa Golf Papa Victor. And yeah, it's kind of like the same livery as what Papa Whiskey has, but I think there's a little difference. There's just minor differences, so yeah. It's kind of like, feels like a duplicate almost, but just like different. It's a different style, that's all I can say. Okay, so now we're moving on. And then we have our China Southern A350-900, and this one is the first A350 delivered to China Southern Airlines, or in this case introduced. And it just features the standard livery, of course, and honestly it does look really nice on this A350. I think it has to do with this section of the plane, but it does look really nice, I gotta say. And yeah, again, this is just your usual Chinese standard release from NG models. I think China Southern A350s never flew to the US, so yeah, that's that. But it's a really cool addition to many people who collect these Chinese planes. So yeah, that's that. That aircraft is registered Bravo 308 Tango. And as we move on, we have our standard livery China A350-900. Yeah, just a duplicate, no need to complain. That aircraft registration is Bravo 32 Foxtrot Romeo. So yeah, just your standard livery, duplicate NG type deals. I can't really complain too much since NG like pretty much does this since, I'll say like since 2023. So yeah, this is now your standard NG release now. So yeah, duplicates and various like Asian Chinese models. So yeah. So now we move on, and then we have a blank model of an Airbus A350 freighter. So something a little different, but this is just like a blank model. There's nothing, no application to it, no reg, just a completely blank model. So yeah, maybe I might see if I can try to get this if I want to do something about this, but we'll see. Who knows? Only time will tell. Alright, so now moving on. Okay, Sun Country, and ooh, okay, this is a good one. This is a good one right here. So we have a Sun Country Airlines Boeing 737-800, and this is in the airline's Minnesota Gophers Athletics livery. Okay, so now we're getting something for the US collectors right here. So they did release this in 1/200 last month, so now they're releasing it in 1/400 scale. So really cool on how they're able to do this. I have no idea on how they're able to make this livery, or because like I know NG is pretty much known for not having licenses from other companies unlike Gemini Jets. So I'm not sure how they're gonna like come up with this situation again. Like, plus they don't even have a license for Sun Country. So how are they able to make this? And yeah, but outside of that, this is a really cool addition for NG models for the US collectors, and it's really nice to have Sun Country Airlines from NG models since their 737-700s a few years ago. But it's been a long time since NG has done a Sun Country model. I think the last time they did it was somewhere around 2020. So this is a must grab for you guys, for all you US collectors right there. That's one model I'll be getting for this release set. So this aircraft registration the aircraft reg is November 809 Sierra Yankee. So really cool stuff right there from NG models for the US collectors right there. Let's see if we have more. Okay, so we have a China Southern 787-9 Dreamliner, and this is, oh, actually they did this before actually. So this is the 787's 787 Dreamliner. That is really fitting right there, I gotta say. Now NG, from what I know, they did this model before, so this is more of like a rerun of the 787 right there, because I believe they did it somewhere around on one of their first few releases of the 787s. That model, the first iteration of that model has since been sold out, so I'd assume this could be the second iteration of the 787. So yeah, I mean, it's really fitting because this is the 787 Dreamliner, so why don't they apply this 787 sticker right there. That I will be getting since it holds significance on the 787 production line. So yeah, really cool right there. I will most likely get this despite being a Chinese model because I don't know why, but yeah, it has some significance of the 787 program. So that aircraft is registered Bravo 1168. So yeah, really cool right there. And again, really interesting on how NG Models was able to like come up with a second iteration. And that's kind of like similar to what they did for the Herat Heroes. They first released those in 2020 until they got the rerun in 2022 because of how popular it is. That's kind of like the same deal since I think some Chinese collectors missed out on the first iteration, and since there's like a new wave of collectors in China, which no offense to the Chinese collectors, but yeah, like I mean, many of us wanted more US releases, but again, no offense to the Chinese collectors. So it makes sense of why NG Models is doing a second iteration of the 787, from what I understand. But I think I looked at their database. Hang on, I gotta look at MadB. I do apologize if I'm gonna be, if I'm kind of putting on hold, but I swear NG Models did this in the past. They did a first iteration of this in the past. So that aircraft is registered Bravo 1168. So let me just look up this registration on MadB. And yes, they actually did this model before. So so this is basically the second iteration of the 787 from NG Models, as they previously did this on November of 2018. So this is one of their first 787s they did. So it's so surprising to see NG Models doing a second iteration of the 787's Boeing 787. So yeah, again, most likely I will be getting this since I'm a 787 enthusiast, and yeah, again, this is a significant model for the 787. They set the specific, like, it holds a significant role on the 787 program. That's what I meant to say. So yeah, really interesting right there. Alright, so next up, and of course we got our 787 Dreamliner. This is not your usual thing. This is the first delivered 787 Dreamliner for China Southern Airlines. This, more in particular, the Dash 9 variant. So yeah, nothing too special. I mean, it's kind of like a standard. I'm not sure if this is like a standard livery or something, or it just says 787, but it kind of looks like it. But yeah, that's there. It kind of feels like a standard livery almost. So that aircraft is registered Bravo 1242. And as I scroll down, we have a Xiamen Airlines Boeing 737-700 coming in at 1:1 scale. This is in the airline's old color scheme. And this aircraft does not feature any winglets. So really cool on the diversity for these planes. Again, this is just Chinese models. I think many collectors don't, like for many US collectors, they don't want this. But again, that's NG standards at this point. Like they cater more on the Chinese collectors as compared to many parts of the world, like Europe, US, and all that stuff. So that aircraft is registered Bravo 5218. And as I look down, we do have another one. This is in the revised old color scheme, which I'd assume it's the, I don't know what is there. Okay, so revised. Okay, so the only difference is they just added blended winglets. That's it. There's nothing else to it. So again, just your usual Chinese releases from NG Models, and again, nothing to complain about. But it's basically the same livery, but this plane is equipped with blended winglets. So that's the big difference for this compared to this one, which has non-winglets. So that aircraft is registered Bravo 5280. And let's see what we have next. Okay, Southwest Airlines 737-700. What is this? Heart. Oh, okay. Cool. All right. Well, NG Models. What are we doing here? So we now have a 737-700 split scimitar winglet coming in a 1:1 scale. That is, I'm surprised because didn't they did this a few months ago? But I think it makes sense on why NG Models is doing another one of these since they released one like just a few months ago. Like, I don't know when, probably like late 2024 or early 2025. But this is a popular model for collectors, and I assume the first iteration of the Heart Livery 700 from NG in 1:1 scale is sold out at this point. So it's best for you collectors to get this right away because this is going to be a hot seller right there. So I might as well try to pick this up. I have not flown with Southwest before. Maybe that might change, but since I've been getting a lot of these at Sacramento International, might as well get one. So that aircraft is registered November 922 November Whiskey, not November Whiskey, 922 Whiskey November, which I probably have seen at my work ship before, or may have spotted this aircraft. But yeah, I've seen a lot of Southwest 737-700s during my time when I'm at Sacramento International. So it's kind of it's the usual jizz for me for seeing many Southwest planes. And I actually have seen this plane 2 times actually. So I've seen one in Kansas City, and then I saw one, of course, at my home airport at Sacramento International. So hopefully I can try to upload those pictures for you guys. But yeah, I have seen this exact registration twice. So let me scroll down. Okay, so we're getting another one. Okay, does this feature blended winglets? It does feature blended winglets. So NG catering right there for those Southwest planes. So these are going to be hot sellers. This is going to be a hot seller as well. So of course it's in the Heart livery. It's a standard Southwest Heart livery, but the big difference is, and nice that NG is adding these, the big difference is this one has blended winglets, and this one has split scimitar winglets. And the one with blended winglets is version November 7835 Alpha. So yeah, these are going to be hot sellers right there for NG Models. So really nice that NG Models is doing another set of 1-200 Southwest 737-700 Heart liveries. So many collectors will have another chance to get them. So great work NG Models on doing that. Alright, next up. And then we have a China Southern 737, China Eastern 737-700. This is in the Yunnan Peacock livery, and yeah, just Yunnan Peacock orange. So yeah, again, I mean, what can I say? I mean, it's just usual NG at this point. You got all your Chinese releases in 1-to-1 scale. This is in this Peacock livery. Gosh, excuse me. They did this in 1-400 scale months back, so they're now doing this in 1-to-1 scale. That aircraft is registered Bravo 6141. And yeah, and then we move on, and then of course we have another duplicate. Nothing too special. It's the exact same livery. Again, are like, it's what it is. It's what it is. Bravo 5807 is the registration of that aircraft now. And then, ooh, okay, Delta 737-700. Now we're talking right here for NG. Now, NG Models as of lately, they have been doing more US models on 1-to-100 scale models rather than 1-400 scale. So I'm not sure what's going on right there. Is this some kind of like shift or something for the 1-to-100 collectors? So now we're getting this in 1-to-1 scale, a Delta 737-700, and these used to operate for Delta Airlines before until those were retired in 2020 because of everything that has been going on in that year. So yeah, but I think this gives this 1-to-100 model can have many collectors get this model for all the US collectors. So that aircraft is registered November 301 Delta Quebec, and yeah, it should be a nice model for all the Delta fans right there. Next up. And then okay, One World 737-800 for American Airlines. Alright, we're seeing something with these 1-to-100 models right here. So, NG Models last month has released a ton of 1-to-100s, like a good variety of 1-to-100 models for the US collectors. They released the Minnesota Gopher 737 for Sun Country Airlines. They released TWA. They released the test bed 757 for the engines. I forgot what it was. Honeywell 752. Now we're seeing something similar for the August releases, because we got 2 Southwest 737-700 Heart liveries. We got a Delta 737-700, and now we're getting this One World American 737-800. So, I'm not sure what's going on here for NG Models. I think I might have to make a video on the shift between 1-400 US models to 1-200. So it's really interesting on what I'm seeing right here. So yeah, but still, it's really cool to see NG doing another One World American 737, but this time it's coming in 1-200 scale. They did the One World livery on an American 737 in March of 2022, and yes, I do have that model with me. So it's a nice model from NG. Back when NG released a lot of US models back then. So that aircraft is registered November 973 Alpha November, and I think it's one of the 3 American 737-800s in a One World livery. So yeah, really cool. And then we have, okay, Delta 737-800 with split scimitars. Alright, now we're talking right here for the 1-200 section. And yes, like, of course, I mean, like, what can I even say right now? Where do I even begin? This shift from NG Models on the 1-200 department is surprising me. So yeah, we do have a Delta 738 with split scimitars right there, looking very nice. I think they did one like a few months ago too, so now they're doing this again. But yeah, just it's really interesting on seeing what I'm seeing with engine models as of late. So right here we have this one 78 with splits. That aircraft is registered November 388 Delta Alpha. Alright, so that's it for those. And then we oh my god, are you kidding me right now? Delta 737 900ER 1/200 scale. Gosh, oh my god, where do I start right here? Oh my god. Alright. Because I have a 1/200 Delta 737 900ER already from Gemini 200, and since I've flown on the 739 from Delta Airlines for my airliner's trip from Sacramento to Atlanta, should I even get this? Like I should probably get this so I can compare. I just want to try to get some variety between my models. So nice that we're seeing a Delta 737 900ER coming in at 1/200 scale. I think Gemini just was the last one who released this. That aircraft is registered November 851 Delta November, which I have not flown. I've flown on 857 Delta Zulu twice. I've flown on 830 Delta November back in, I think, oh yeah, that was in, oh yeah, twice. Here, let me rephrase on the 739s from Delta Airlines I've flown. So I've flown on November 857 Delta Zulu twice, one from LAX to Seattle in December 2022, and then from Salt Lake City to Sacramento back in June 2024 after my airliner's international trip from Kansas City. And the third flight was on a different registration, as I've flown on that particular plane, which Delta 739 was it? Because I've flown from Sacramento to Atlanta during my flight going to Atlanta back in Airliners 2022. I've flown on another 739, which is registered November 830 Delta November. And on that exact same flight number in Airliners 2025, I think I've flown on 832 Delta November. Well, let me see. Yes, 832 Delta November. So this is not the exact plane I've flown on in real life, but I'd assume I saw this in real life when I was plane spotting. But I will get this model as well to diverse my model collection, since I have the Gemini 201. So that way, if I were to get this, I could compare two of my 1/200 models between my Gemini just one and my NG models one. So really interesting right there. So yeah, how many US 1/200 models have I seen so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is incredible to see in the 1/200 department for NG models. So might as well try to make a video on this at some point. But let's see what's next on the list. And we have a China Southern 737-800. I mean, again, NG's catering the Chinese collectors right there, since they're based out of China. So you should expect many Chinese releases from there. That aircraft is registered Bravo 5761, and yeah, the delivery does look really nice on the 737. And then another duplicate, as per usual, nothing to complain, same delivery, same song, second verse. That aircraft is registered Bravo 12999er. And then let's see what we have next. And then American Airlines Boeing 737 MAX 8. Okay, so the number's increasing for these 1/200 models. Alright, so we got an American 737 MAX 8 in 1/4 scale in September 2024, so that's last year, well, almost last year. And now we're getting this one in 1/200 scale for August, nearly a year ago since the 1/400 counterpart got released. Yeah, I'm just saying, this is really interesting from engine models. This shift from many 1/400 models to many 1/200 models where do I even start right here? So, yeah, again, I will have to make a video on this. This needs to be talked on, but this is some kind of like interesting move from engine models for these US collectors. So, yeah, there's that. Excuse me, that aircraft, I don't know what the heck was this. Well, I don't know what the heck was this registration, but this is a typo. So that aircraft, excluding the Bravo dash, that aircraft is registered November 306 Romeo Charlie. Again, like, this is literally a typo because they got Bravo 306 Romeo Charlie, which is not the registration of the aircraft. So I'm not sure who typed this up, but yeah. NG, just please look back into this registration, please, and fix that, because this is the incorrect registration. And then, ooh, okay, and then there's another typo right there, but we do got another American 737 MAX 8. That's good, since this is a duplicate and it's a US model. That's good because many collectors want this, so you could choose one or the other. But the problem is, it's the exact same typo as for like the other one. So this is not Bravo-327 Sierra Kilo. This is November 327 Sierra Kilo. So yeah, NG needs to fix that. Anyways, moving on. And then we got a Shaman Air Boeing 737 MAX 8, and this is in the airline's current livery. And yeah, there's that. Nothing to complain about. Again, like the NG's just catering the Chinese market right here. That aircraft is registered Bravo 20 Charlie Romeo, and let's see if we got a duplicate. Yes, we do. Nothing to complain. Same song, second verse. Same deal. That aircraft is registered Bravo 1289er. And let's see, we got a C919 from China Southern. That aircraft right there, and this is coming in a 1-2 on the scale, and this is the first delivered China C919 for China Southern Airlines, which I believe, okay, this is a light, because they did this in 1-2 on scale in the standard version, so now they're just doing this in the NG Light model. So yeah, that aircraft is registered Bravo 919er Juliets, and yeah, that's that. And then we also got, okay, oh my god, you have got it, no freaking way. Okay, so alright, so we got something really good for once from the Chinese airlines right there. A China Eastern Boeing 777-300ER. That's it. Just a 300ER, no special livery or anything. Just a standard livery China Eastern Boeing 777-300ER. NG, I know you've been doing a lot of these Chinese models that many collectors don't really want, mainly narrow bodies, but you've released a China Eastern 777-300ER. This aircraft flies to San Francisco International Airport alongside some other destinations, including some North American destinations. So, on the bottom line, I will say I will definitely be getting this model despite this being a Chinese release. Gosh, my goodness, where do I even begin? They do fly to San Francisco mainly during the mornings. I saw them before, so it's really cool that NG is making this. Again, like NG, I understand you're catering the Chinese collectors on releasing many of these Chinese models. But if you release something like this that many collectors would need, basically, then that's good, NG. That's good, NG Models. I appreciate you releasing this, but again, like, NG does like to do these Chinese models and all that stuff, but this will be on my list as well. So that aircraft is registered Bravo 7881. So looking forward on getting this model alongside the Air China 333, which I haven't made a purchase on that yet. And then next up, and of course we got another China Eastern 333. I mean, just your usual NG models releases as per usual on these duplicates, so can't complain, but I can choose one or the other. And funny enough, this aircraft is registered Bravo 2025. Which is basically the year. It's basically 2025, and then they release this model in 2025. This registration in particular. I'll say though, that is one smart move right there from NG Models. So yeah. But yeah, there's no difference between the livery. It's just the same livery as per usual. But you can choose whatever one. I think I'm not saying that this model will be selling out like hotcakes, but I know many collectors outside of China would need this model, including US collectors as well. Alright, so next up, we have, of course, a C909. Okay, this is a different aircraft. This is a 909, which formerly it was named the ARJ-21. So, yeah, there's that. But it does not have a registration, so I'm not sure what's going on there. This is a 1-for-1 model. This is literally $15, by the way. Holy moly. That 1-for-1 model for $15? That's crazy. I'm not sure what's going on right there, or why is it that cheap. That's crazy. Maybe it's an NG Lite if I were to take a guess. Yeah, from what I'm seeing, this literally looks like an NG Lite, so I guess that's the reason why it's $15, because there's no registration, no details, no aerial details. So that's possibly an NG Lite, but that's crazy on how a 1-for-1 model could be sold that low of a price right there. That's crazy. And of course, we do got another one, and this is a C919. This has no registration or anything, but it does have some model images right now. Like, it does have some model images, and this is also coming in 1-for-1 scale. And honestly, despite this is another NG Lite, and despite this being an NG Lite, I do love the details on how the livery is being printed, and the overall like mold itself does look very nice. And I know it's not an aircraft that you normally see flying in the entire world. You only see this plane in China, and it does not have gear from what. Okay, so from what I'm looking at the images, the plane does not have any gears, but the box itself really looks like an Aero Classics box or one of those Emirates Gemini Jets boxes. So that's some kind of interesting shift right there for Edgy Malls to do. But again, this is more on the. This is catering to the Chinese collectors, so this is exclusively only for the Chinese collectors. So yeah, but yeah, this status says it's available. There's no registration of the plane, so yeah. And then we got a 787-9 Dreamliner for Junyao Air. This is in the Blossom China livery. And yeah, this looks very nice, honestly. Like, it's a very nice livery. This is another Chinese airline, but yeah, Junyao Air, the only thing, like, from what am I saying? But Junyao Air does not fly to the US, but they do fly to Europe. And they would send this plane to many destinations in Europe. Like, Helsinki is one of them. I think London Gatwick is another airport. But yeah, really cool on how they're also releasing the Junyao Air. And honestly, the livery looks nice on the 787 Dreamliner. That aircraft is registered Bravo 226 November. And yeah. Alright, so as we move on, we do have, okay, so we have another one, just the same deal as the previous one, same livery, same song, second verse, Bravo 226. Mike is the registration on that aircraft now. And then moving on, and then, okay, Korean Air Boeing 787-10 Dreamliner in the airline's new livery. Okay, so this particular plane I definitely will need, but Edgy also released the older livery Korean Air 7810, but since they're kind of like in the process of repainting most of their planes in their current livery, I mean, might as well try to get this one. I mean, I might see if I could try to get the older livery as well, but I think, because I never had a Korean Air model before, maybe I might see if I can get the 1047-8, but I will definitely be getting a 787 Dreamliner since those fly to Seattle Tacoma International Airport, and there's a possibility that I'll be using this model for an upcoming airport update that I'll be doing in the future. So, looking forward on getting this model as well, and we'll see on what that new airport update will be coming out. But I'm looking forward to getting this model, and I have seen Korean Air's new livery twice, but that's on the 747-8 and the 777-300ER. So, but I have not seen their 787-10 yet in the new livery, and I understand that it is a controversial livery, but I mean, all I can really say is, I mean, it's not the best. I mean, it's good, yes. I mean, for me, it's good, but I wouldn't consider it one of the best livery rebrands out there. But yeah, they got rid of the Pepsi logo basically. So yeah, I gotten used to the Pepsi logo like a lot. But it does make sense on why Korean Air is changing their liveries because of like the whole Asiana merger and all that stuff. So it makes sense on why they're now reveal this livery. But even so, no matter like love it or hate it, it's a nice model, I'll say, from my collection, I gotta say. So, we're looking forward to getting this model. So, the aircraft is registered Hotel Lima 8515, and it's also the first aircraft in the Korean Air fleet to be painted in the new livery too. So yeah, that's that. Next up, we do have another Korean Air new livery, and this is under Airbus A330-300. So, same deal as like the 7810. It's again, it's a controversial livery, but I mean, different planes will have their style of livery. So here's their new livery on the Korean Air A330-300, and honestly, it looks okay. It looks very nice. I think I like the 787 because of like this, like the shape of the fuselage. But I think the A330 also looks very nice too. So there's the Korean Air A330-300, and these fly to Cebu MAC-10 Airport. So I have seen some pictures of, my dad sent me pictures of Korean Air A330-300, and their A330-200s have flown to SFO back in like the pandemic years, but I think these do fly to Cebu MAC-10, so might as well try to get this model as well, depending if I see one or not. But yeah, that aircraft of this Korean Air A330 is registered Hotel Lima 8025, and we do have a China Southern 737 MAX 8, kind of like your typical. I mean, do I need to explain more about this? But yeah, it's what it is. All the various like aspects of the aircraft livery, and yeah, it does look very nice. Okay, this is coming in a 1-to-1 scale. Wait a minute, haven't they? Oh shoot, they have released a... Okay, they have not, yeah. Like, in this release set, I don't think they have. But yeah. Yeah, they're releasing this at 1/200 scale. I thought... Because I assumed they released this before. But yeah, that's that. That aircraft is registered Bravo 20 Alpha Tango. Now let's see what we have next. We do have another 737 MAX 8 1/200 scale model. This aircraft in particular is their first 737 MAX 8 for the airline. So yeah, same song, same deal, same song, second verse. No need to explain more. That aircraft is registered Bravo 1201. But at least they did a registration of China Southern's first 737 MAX 8. But even so, it's literally the same livery. Anyways, next up we have an AC-30-300 for China Eastern, and this is in the Yunnan Peacock scheme. And yeah, but I think this is showing off their older logo, like the older logo back then. And it also features that black, like, not saying, it has a black anti-glare shield over there just below the cockpit windows. But yeah, that's China's, this is in China Eastern's older livery, so yeah. I will say though, the Yunnan Peacock livery on the AC-30 does look very nice. I like all the aspects of it, and yeah, it does look very nice. That aircraft is registered Bravo 6128, and I think we do have... Oh my god! Jesus Christ! Oh man! No freaking way! Okay! Alright, this one is gonna be an awesome model. Oh my god, Engine Models, what are you doing right now? We have a Northrop Grumman Lockheed L-1011 TriStar, which is Stargazer. The test bed for these missiles. This aircraft in particular is the final airworthy Lockheed L-1011. That is real. That surprised me right there. Oh my god, I was not expecting NG. They released this as a future release though. They did release this as a future release, but now it's coming in 1/200 scale. I'm not 1/400 scale on the August release set. My goodness, Engine Models. Gosh. Alright. Okay. Wow. That is awesome right there. And most like... I should get this right now, because this particular aircraft is special for me. So, that aircraft is registered November 140 Sierra Charlie. This particular aircraft was the first time I seen a L-1011 TriStar back in April 2021 while I was at Mojave Airport. And like, I was like, just going there, just looking at their planes, all the boneyards, until this plane was parked right in front of me. I'll pop up a picture here. I'll pop up a picture for you guys right now. That aircraft was sitting and parked right in front of me over these fences, and that was literally the first time I saw a Lockheed L-1011 TriStar. There are only two Lockheed L-1011s that still show off their airframe, but this one in particular is the final airworthy L-1011 in the world. The other one, which used to operate as a flying hospital, that's now in Kansas City, and it's technically, quote-unquote, supposed to be airworthy, but that aircraft is now part of the TriStar experience. Once again, it's in Kansas City, and yeah, it still shows off the airframe itself, but it might fly, who knows, but that plane has been sitting there in Kansas City for pretty much for its entire time, so yeah. But this plane in particular, final airworthy L-1011 in the world. So, because of how special this aircraft is to me, and considering that the L-1011 is my favorite tri-jet, I am definitely going to be getting this model. And it comes with a missile testbed too, which is a nice addition. So really looking forward to getting this model for my collection. And I know it's 38 minutes in this video, and I've been rambling a lot about this Northrop Grumman L-1011 Stargazer. But yeah, that is awesome right there for Engine Models. So yeah, kind of like a bit of an expensive one for me, which I don't want to be doing this to my wallet. But yeah, what needs to be done, it has to be done. I'm not sure if I'll be getting all of them in one go. Might as well split it into segments. But I'll probably get like the most needed ones first before I handle the rest. Anyways, moving on downwards, we do have a 777-200 for China Southern. I believe these aircraft may have retired from the fleet. I'm not sure, or there might be a little bit of aircraft that's still active in the China Southern fleet. But yeah, we got this aircraft right there. That aircraft, it's a very nice livery, I gotta say. I mean, again, a nice livery for this type. I wish it was a 333, but yeah, we got the China Southern, which they mainly, I think they would mainly operate domestically around Asia. So that aircraft is registered Bravo 2052. And as we scroll down, next up, we do have another one. This one in particular is the first 777-200 introduced in mainland China. That's on December 30th of 1995. So one day before New Year's Eve of 1995, before 1996 happened. So really interesting right there. So again, I mean, it might be the exact same livery. Yeah, it's the exact same livery, but this one in particular holds significance since it's the first Boeing 777 introduced in mainland China. So that aircraft is registered. This is the sister ship of the plane. So this is the first one, Bravo 2051, and this is the second 777-200 in the China Southern Fleet. So yeah, really cool right there on how on these registration ideas for NG. Alright, so next up, and that's it for this release set. So I think we're missing on a couple models. I think we're missing on a couple release sets, so I'm not sure what happened there, but they have not posted the full image on their Instagram page. But what I know, we are missing a 747-400 that was supposed to be there. And I don't think, yeah, there's a 333, there's 7810, there's an L1011, so I mean, there's another L1011 that's labeled, but we just got one. But we're missing another L1011, and we're missing a 747-400. So I'm not sure where that is, or if NG has released that yet. I'm not sure when NG will release that, but all I know is like that remains untold. But what I've seen here, they did release some future releases, which I'll probably go over there right now. So this one is the 747-400 in Boeing's house colors right there. This is basically the 747-400 prototype right there. So really nice that NG Models is now doing a US registered 747-400, and I'm looking forward to getting this model once it's released. In addition, we also got an Air Europa 737 MAX 8. That's a nice model for all the European collectors right there. We also got a Transavia Airbus A321neo in the airline's 1960s retro livery, which it does look really interesting on an A321neo, despite this aircraft having a raccoon mask. But yeah, that's another nice model for all the European collectors. And we also got the Qatar Airways Boeing 777-300ER in the UEFA Championship League livery as well. Looking very nice right there. And the Icelandair Boeing 757-200 in the Pan Am livery back when they did like that transatlantic tour back in June or May. But yeah, really cool models right there. But as for the August 2025 releases, nothing too surprising other than the fact they've been releasing a lot of 1-200 models for the US Department right there. Like, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 NG 1-for-1, like 8 US registered releases in 1-200 scale as compared to the 1-for-1 section, which they don't have as much as the 1-200 section. But I think there's some kind of like shift between NG models on the 1-200 department, because like they release so many 1-200 models from the US than what it is on the 1-400 scale. So I might as well have to make a video on this. I'm not sure what's going on with NG models nowadays, because they started doing this in June of 2025. So I'm seeing this kind of like trend that's happening with NG models as of late, and I think this needs to be discussed on the separate video. But as for the models I'll be getting for this release set, well, I'll start off with the most needed ones. So the most needed ones is going to be the Sun Country 737-800 Minnesota Gophers livery, and the Delta 737-900ER split scimitars in 1-to-1 scale. Alongside with that, I will most likely also get the, hang on, so the Delta 739, that's going to be saved since it's a 1-to-1 model. I don't want to spend a lot of money on a 1-to-1 model and 1-400, but as for the 1-400 section, the most needed models I will be getting, like the models that I want to get right now, like, oh my god, I need them. The models I'll be getting is the Sun Country Airlines Boeing 737-800 Minnesota Gophers livery, and Stargazer on the Norse Prop, god, I think I said Norse Prop, like on once, like, sorry, gosh, my speaking is just all over the place. But I believe I may have accidentally said Norse Prof by accident. But again, I'll be yeah, shoot. Sorry about that, guys. But I'll also be getting the Stargazer L1011 as well. So the Sun Country and the Lockheed L1011 are going to be well-needed models from that list. Or I'll just label, or the models I'll be labeled as buy it now. Alongside with that, the Delta 737 900ER is also a model that I need to buy now. But maybe that might happen in a few months, depending if I get my paychecks already. Like, if I have enough money to like buy these models, I'll say. But I need to get some, like, I need to work extra hours for that, I'll say. But yeah, this Delta 739, so that's basically 3 models on that list. And as for the models I'll save for later, I think there's only one. There's actually 2, never mind. So the models that I'll save for later, but I will need for, like, on my wish list basically, is gonna be this China Eastern Boeing 777-300ER, and the China Southern 787-9 second iteration of the 787 Boeing 787 Dreamliner. And alongside with that, there's another third one, Korean Air 7810 New Livery. That's also gonna be on the future hold right now. So the Korean Air 7810, China Southern 787, 787, 787, and the China Eastern 777-300 are gonna be labeled as a wish list right there and saved for later. So yeah, I mean, not really gonna go over too much. NG likes to like release these models from the Chinese market, so this is just your average NG models at this point, so can't really complain too much. But it's really, again, I will have to go over that video on the July and August releases on like the shift of 1 to 100 US models, so make sure to stay tuned for a video on that. But I'm just looking forward to getting the models that are well needed for my collection. Once again, it's going to be this Sun Country Airlines 737-800 Minnesota Gophers and the Stargazer L1011. So looking forward on getting these models, and yeah, just your average standard NG release. So let me know what models you'll be getting despite this setup from NG models. But yeah, it should be interesting right there, and we'll see what happens for next month in September. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and turn on the bell icon so you won't miss a new upload from me anytime soon. So that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Good night.